Hi, it's Paulina from YNIK Designs, and I'm going to teach you how to do the raglan line for the Lucy pullover. So we're using, for my beginning of row marker, I'm using my marker from Pink Macaroons that I love because it's a glow in the dark. So this is what I'm using, all right? So slip your border marker, then you're going to knit two, okay? This is part of my raglan line. Then I'm going to slip my marker. Then I'm going to, with yarn in front, I'm going to slip the first stitch. Then I'm going to knit the second stitch. Then from the back, I am going to take the stitch that I slipped and I'm going to drop it off of my needle, pick it up with my right needle, and then I'm going to pass my yarn to the back and I'm going to knit the slip stitch through the back loop. And then I'm going to make one from the row below. So it's this stitch, and it helps us that it's a different color to show you. So I'm going to pick up this stitch with my left needle. I'm going to pick it up. Oops. Pick it up, and then I'm going to knit it through the back loop. All right, and that's what gives us the effect. And then I'm going to knit. This is my sleeve, so I have 2 knit stitches. Then I have my purl 2, and then the row of my cable. In this row, that it's just knit through, so it works that it's just knitting through the cable. Okay, so I knit through my cable. Then I do my purl 2. And then I'm going to knit. You're going to do this up until 2 stitches before the marker. So now I'm 2 stitches before the marker, and this is the way that we're going to do it on this side of the marker. So I'm going to slip the stitch, this time with yarn in back. So I'm going to slip the stitch with the yarn in back. Then I'm going to knit the next stitch. Then I'm going to take the slip stitch and I'm going to drop them off of the needles. I'll pick up the knitted stitch first, and then the slip stitch, I'm going to knit it through the back loop, put it on my needle, and then I'm going to make one from the row below. So I'm going to make one from the row here, and I'm going to knit it through the back loop. And that is what makes my raglan line. Then I'm going to slip my marker, knit 2, and then I'm going to repeat. So I slip my marker, and I'm going to show you again how to do the raglan stitch on the left side again. So we are going to slip 1 stitch with yarn in front. Then we're going to knit the next stitch. Then I'm going to pick my slip stitch from the back like that. Then I'm going to take them off of the needle. I pick the stitch that was previously knitted. Then I pass my yarn to the back. I knit the slip stitch through the back loop. And then I'm going to make one from the row below. So I take it with my needle and I knit it through the back loop. And this is what gives us the left raglan stitch inclined towards the right, and the right raglan towards the left. Sorry, I lost my words. So now we're going to knit again up to 2 stitches before the marker. This will be my front. So I'm going to knit my front stitches. Okay, so I continue knitting. Depending on what size you're knitting, you should have about 30 to 40 stitches at this point. Okay, so I'm going to knit my front row. And this yarn knits beautifully. It's Chroma from Knit Picks. And I'm also using the Knit Picks interchangeable needles, which are nickel plated, and I love them. My stitches slide very well, and that helps me to maintain the speed that I want. I'm a fast knitter, so I like knitting with metal instead of wood. All right, so I arrived to 2 stitches before the marker. So again, I'm going to show you on the right hand side of the marker how we do the slant. So we slip 1 with the yarn and back, okay? Then we knit the following stitch. Then we take the stitch from the front, remove the needle, take the knitted stitch first, then knit through the back loop the slip stitch, and then we're going to make 1 from the row below and knit it through the back loop. Then we pass our stitch, we knit 2, we slip our marker. I don't know why I said stitch before, sorry about that. Slip my marker. We are going to slip stitch with yarn in front, knit the following stitch. We're going to pick our slip stitch from the back, remove the needle, take the knitted stitch first, pass my yarn to the back, knit the slip stitch through the back loop, and take the make 1 from the row below and knit it through the back loop. So then that's how we have our raglan line. This is our sleeve. So you have a couple of stitches knitted before you get to your 2 pearls prior, the 2 pearls that show you that you're in your cable. Again, this cable row was a knit all, so that's why I'm just knitting the cable. And I'm just going to show you the raglan line one last time. All right, so I finish my cable. Oops, see Daisy, make sure that this doesn't happen to you. My pearl stitches from the cable, and then again you knit up until you get to the last 2 stitches. So again, slip the stitch with yarn in back, knit the following stitch. We take the stitch from the front, remove the needle, put the knitted stitch first, knit through the back loop of the slipped stitch, and we make 1 from the row below and we knit it through the back loop. We pass our marker, we knit the 2 raglan lines, slip the marker, slip 1 with yarn in front, knit 1, pick the slipped stitch from the back of the needle. We drop them off the needle. I take the knitted stitch first, pass my yarn to the back, knit through the back loop of the slipped stitch, and we will make 1 from the row below. So we pick the stitch and we knit it through the back loop. Oops, I'm sorry. Through the back loop, and then I would knit my back stitches, and then I get back to my border. So all right, so one last time, this is my last raglan of the row. So I slip the stitch with yarn in back, knit my stitch, pick the stitch from the front, drop them from the needle, pick this knitted stitch first, knit through the back loop the slip stitch, make 1 from the row below, knit it through the back loop, and then I'm at my border, at my beginning of row. So the next row, you just knit them all through. You don't have to do anything. You basically just you knit your 2 stitches from the raglan, you slip your marker, and you knit your stitches normally. You knit the knits, purl the pearls, and you make sure that you do the right stitch on the cable. For example, right now for my cable, I would have to do my cable 3 front. All right, so this is the raglan line. I will do another video for the seams. Once we get to the seams, I'll show you how to do the waist shaping. Thank you very much.